Most every project I do starts right here at the miter saw. For this shelf, I cut the top, bottom, and face boards to 34 inches long. Next, I set my table saw up to rip 45 degrees down the face side of the top and bottom boards, along with ripping the top and bottom edge off the face board. Quick dry fit between cuts to ensure my edges are going to close tight against each other. Here I dropped the miter saw down to a 45 degree and cut all the end angles along with the end caps. The end caps are cut on all sides except for the side that attaches to the wall. For this shelf, I went with 18 gauge brad nails and glue. I wanted the shelf to look more distressed and imperfect. That's kind of our style. You could use just glue and clamps or even pin nails to hold the wood together while the glue dried. For the mount, I ripped down a 2x4 to the interior width of the shelf, and then I cut those pieces to length and made 4 shelf support pieces that attached to that bracket. These 4 support pieces are connected by a 2.5 inch pocket hole screw. share something that I've learned from many projects, that premixing the wood filler with the stain you're planning on using will blend any imperfections better in the end. A mistake I made, which caused small gaps in my joints, was that I did not set up a stop block when cutting the links of the top and the bottom portion of the shelf. These small differences left my end caps off slightly. I wasn't worried too much about it because the style of the shelf I was going for was a more rustic look. On to everyone's favorite, sanding. Went ahead and took 120 grit to this entire shelf just to knock down any rough edges and any of the filler that was on the outside of the joint. And came back through with my favorite stain, which was the Midwax Espresso. Such a luscious looking stain. When mounting anything to the wall, it's obvious you want to look for studs. For this shelf, I was able to countersink two 3-inch screws directly into the studs. You also want to mount the brackets with the pocket holes facing up. This will help support the weight being pushed down on the shelf. I countersunk two 1-inch screws in the top to keep the shelf from walking off the bracket over time. Hope you enjoyed this simple little project. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.